What's good, CB Tape Lab family? Just posted a Jermod McCoy part 1 on the YouTube page, and today we have Jermod McCoy part 2. Only the special corners, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm playing. But only, real talented corners get 2 parts to them just when I see too much film to dissect in one video. But nonetheless, let's get straight to it. For this first clip, I'm playing full speed. Woo! Teach tape, boy, I tell you. Oh my gosh. Let's run it back. Let's run it back now. Now let's break it down like how we normally do. Boom. For starters, once his back foot comes up, right? So that right leg comes up. Perfect. You guys see how the feet sort of land at the same time. A lot of DBs have a problem sometimes of peer stepping right at the snap or right when they see the receiver move, and they sort of pre-fire the peer step too early. And then if they don't inch or do a double peer, your feet are going to get a little colds and you might get sped by. You know what I'm saying? But just want to point out, look at how both their feet land at the same time. That's perfect, right? Boom, peer step. And what sorry, there's going to be a lot of stuff to point out on this one. You guys see how uncomfortable his base is, right? If somebody looks at this, right, his feet are far apart. You know how receivers are. His base sort of looks like his feet are too close together. It almost looks uncomfortable. But boom, after the peer step, now we're comfortable. Now we're in a position of power, a base of power. Because if you say he lines up like this and then he does a peer step, now he's way too wide to kick step, right? And he's liable to getting thrown by or even shoved back if a receiver does that physical release, right? Boom. Peer step. And once again, y'all, it's going to make me shed a tear. Y'all see that kick slide? And this is definitely a vertical kick, right? Because receiver screaming vertical. He's not giving us no type of release. Boom, split release, and he's getting straight to it, right? So, boom, great kick off the right foot. And he gets a hand on simultaneously, right? Play that. Boom. You guys see I'm going to play again. Kick, right? Some DBs have a habit. Instead of kicking off this right foot, they're just going to run and have this right foot come across over the left foot, but we don't want that, right? Boom, kick off the right. He's on his upfield shoulder. And one last thing about this rep, y'all. He's starting at the top of the numbers, right? I would say about maybe even a little, like a half a yard above the top of the numbers, right? Boom. After the kick slide, right? After about 5 yards of the route, McCoy already has him at the bottom of the numbers. And I know it's a fade ball, but at this point, he's already squeezed him 2 yards closer to the sideline just because of his kick. That one kick, which is a vertical kick, gets him 2 yards closer to the sideline, right? Boom. McCoy does a great job getting chest to chest and check for the back shoulder, right? That's something we always want to do on a fade ball. Get chest to chest for a brief half a second. Look for the back shoulder throw. If it's not there, boom. Turn your head, boom, right? I'll play 2 times full speed. Peer step, vertical kick, hand on, get chest to chest, look for back shoulder, boom. One more time. This is just an elite rep, though. Elite rep. And last thing I'm going to say about this clip is whenever on my channel or you hear somebody else talk about a vertical kick, this is exactly what I'm talking about with a vertical kick, right? He's not trying to kick to cut him off by any means because he's going away from his leverage, right? If he goes inside leverage, you do have a higher chance of being able to do a horizontal kick, right? But because receivers getting ready to fly by us, we have to do a vertical kick and just meet him at an angle. That's why it meets him at an angle, boom, one arm, right? Some DBs might get that left arm on here, and that's going to lock up your left hip and prevent you from getting to full speed, right? But that'll be it for the first clip. All right, y'all, this will be the second clip. I'll play it full speed for you guys. Boom, right? Let's back this one up. All right, so first things first. Before the ball is snapped, let's point out he's inside leverage. So once again, he's going to peer with his outside foot away from his leverage, right? Boom, peer. The right tackle sort of blocking the view, but you're going to see his right foot go back right there, right? Boom, and the left foot, right? So basically he gets a peer 1 inch, right? And now the biggest thing that he's able to win this rep, he does get a flag call, right? You guys see the ref throwing that flag right there for the holding at the end, right about there, right? But boom. Regardless, though, let's just break down the footwork because it was elite footwork. Boom, right? Peer inch. Now, the hand placement won him this rep, though, y'all. So for starters, he does shoot the correct hand in the situation. For a fade ball right here, you want to have the right hand, right? That way the left hand doesn't lock up your hip. And once again, this receiver is releasing a little too wide for us to try and get two hands on him, right? The receiver has to be going straight at us or close enough in our frame, at our chest frame, in order to get two hands on, right? But boom, he sort of panics. Now he shoots that left hand. At this position, his left hip is locked. Most DBs would panic, and instead of just letting this go, instead of letting this arm go and shooting this right hand, which he does, they would just cross their right foot over the left foot and get to running, right? But instead, left foot, my bad, not left foot. Left hand, which is the wrong hand, right? Wrong hand, boom, right hand. All right, a couple more times. Wrong hand to right hand. And you guys see how that gets him back on top, right? Because if I show you the rep at this image, it looks like he is going to get beat, right? By 5-7 yards. But boom, wrong hand to right hand. And notice how he gets a vertical kick in just like the last rep. Boom. Vertical kick. Now he's on top. Only thing bad about this rep is he checks for the back shoulder, which is good, but he gets way too handsy, right? He starts dragging the receiver down, and that's definitely going to be called, right? But besides this point in the rep, it was a very good rep. One more time, y'all. Pier inch. Shoots the proper hand. Boom, now shoots the wrong hand, but we're going to go wrong hand to right hand while getting a vertical kick in. Play one more time, and then that'll be the end of it. Boom. Wrong hand to right hand. Yeah, so last thing about this rep, though, if you're ever in this situation right here, just don't panic. Just shoot the wrong – if you do shoot the wrong hand, that's okay. Make contact, punch, and get a vertical kick in with your right hand, the correct hand on his shoulder. All right, y'all boys. First things first, right? Jermod McCoy is inside leverage, eyes on hip, right? A little bit of a wide base, but that's okay because he doesn't really get a peer step in on this one. But first things first, just watch the receiver for this full speed clip. I'm going to break it down as well, but I don't need to go that far. But for now, so boom, off the rip, the receiver is going to, his first step, which is his right foot, look at how wide he's getting. He's already on the bottom of the numbers. Look at how wide he's getting outside, right? And after that step, look at how he's basically running away from Jermod McCoy. You guys sort of notice that? He's running away from the DB. Now, whenever a wide receiver is running away from us, we can never run downhill or even horizontally to chase him and get a hand or two on. Always just get a vertical kick, or even if you have to open up and run, that's okay. My old DB coach used to say, open up and get the F out, right? Boom, open up or kick and open up and meet him in phase two, which is phase two is in between 5 and 12 yards of the route, right? At that point, meet him in phase two, run at an angle, meet him at phase two and get hands on there, right? Boom, McCoy's going to do one hand. You see how he's barely even touching the receiver. The receiver does not feel his hand, right? Instead, McCoy's going to take it off, run at an angle to go meet him, right? But let's back it up. We'll go to the footwork now. Boom. Now, because he does that wide step, Jermod McCoy is sort of going to do a step replace just to mirror the inside hip, right? After that step replace, boom, vertical kick, doesn't cross his feet over, right? And then go all the way through. Try and get chest to chest, but just end up playing the receiver's hands, right? Yeah, one last thing I want you guys to notice, though. Boom, he releases wide. McCoy does a good job not trying to get too much hands on. Look at how, because of an angle, look at the angle that he takes. Look at how far he squeezes him to the sideline. If this ball is catchable right here, he has this little amount of grass to get a foot in, right? In the NFL, you have to get 2 feet in, but in college, it's obviously just 1. But regardless, though, when a receiver releases this wide, never try to chase him horizontally, especially downhill, to get a hand or 2 hands on, right? You guys know my style of technique, win with your feet first. That's exactly what he does. Kick slide, doesn't let his feet cross over. Take the hand off, and look at the angle that he takes to go make a play on the ball. This is just teach tape, y'all. Play it back one more time. Never be scared to win a rep with your feet and then get your hands on after about 3 to 5 yards. All right, y'all. This will be the last clip on the Jermod McCoy Part 2 video. I just did 3 clips in a row of press technique, right? So I figured I'd get one of him in a deep third, right, playing off. So this is McCoy over here on the right side. He only has two vertical threats, right? The tight end and the receiver. He also has the running back on his side. So it's definitely not trips, but in this play, you'll see, his running back's going to leak out, right? But boom, for starters, though, McCoy has his deep third on this play, right? I'm not too sure what everybody else got going on because we obviously don't know their playbook, but McCoy has his deep third. Boom. For starters, you guys notice how he takes a couple shuffle steps, right? Doesn't cross over his feet. Takes a couple shuffle steps to make sure that this is a drag or an inside route, right? But what ends up happening, though, that receiver is going to fake that drag and turn it into a corner, right? And McCoy doesn't notice until a little late, right? Because McCoy was look at that plant leg, right? He was about to drive downhill on this running back, about to be out, right? But, boom. And mind you, Lagway does a really good job, though, of making it look like it's a QB like designated run out to the side, right? The way he's tucking the ball. But McCoy does a really good job, right? He sees this speed turn. Whenever you're in a position like this, it's always better to keep your momentum and speed turn and locate the man. If you try to flip your hips into a man turn, you're going to lose all your momentum and it's going to be slower, right? But boom, there's not even too much to break down in this one. I just thought it was a really cool rep. Speed turn. And at this point, right here, the ball is thrown, right? From the 30, the ball is going to land right about 2 yards above the end zone. So you have 30 yards, right, from the ball. At this point, as DBs, we cannot look back at the ball. He is 2-3 yards ahead of us. We cannot look back at the ball unless we are arm's reach away. Once you get your hand on the wide receiver, that is when you can look back for the ball. Let's bring it back. Boom. Speed churn. Go get your man. Notice how McCoy is still yet. He probably could have picked this off because of how bad of a ball this was, right? He probably could have went and got an interception, but look at how disciplined he is. Run. Boom. Gets a hand on his man. Then he's going to look back, right? Like I said, y'all, if he wasn't looking at his man, he easily could have went and got the ball because of how bad of a throw it was. But he stayed disciplined. Boom. Get that hand on. Now I'm in arm's reach away. Boom. Turn around, go find the ball. If anything, he could have got a PBU if the ball was better. But like I said, great discipline on this play. Just thought it was a pretty cool rep, right, to include. I'll play it all the way through. Just thought it was a pretty cool rep. Definitely, got to be careful, making sure it's not a corner. But to be fair, you don't see a whole lot of drags into a corner route, right? But that'll be it for the Jermod McCoy Part 2 video. I'm working on a Brandon Finney Jr. video right now. Brandon Finney Jr. And then there was one more corner. I believe, what's his name? I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, so I'm not going to say it yet. But I believe his jersey number is 25 at University of Arizona this past year. He transferred from San Jose State, and I believe he's with the Seahawks. Really underrated guy. But I got some clips on him coming as well. So him and Brandon Finney Jr. But like I always say, leave anything in the comments, constructive criticism, or any corners you want to see next. Also, tap in with the TikTok. The username is the CB Tape Lab. But with that, hopefully everybody has a good week.